Hello friends, welcome to Teach with Each channel. Here you'll get all the videos related to the latest technology. Kindly subscribe to my channel in order to get the latest videos and press the bell icon in order to get the latest updates. Now let's come to the topic. Today we will start Sass. So first of all we have to understand what do you mean by Sass. So basically Sass stands for CSS preprocessor. Now the question arises, what do you mean by CSS preprocessor? Now let's understand the preprocessor. We know that pre means first and processor means processed. Means you have to use data in your browser which is preprocessed. Let us take an example of preprocessor. Let's say you have a manager which speaks English only, and we have employees that knows Hindi. Now there is a communication gap between these two. Now we require a translator in order to translate the manager. They will understand each other's language. So we require a translator in order to translate English into Hindi so that they will be comfortable in order to understand what they are saying. And so basically we write Sass code and we convert Sass code into CSS, because our browser understand only three things like HTML, CSS only, and understandable language. Because of this we have to convert our Sass code into CSS, because if we convert the Sass code into CSS, then only our browser understand what it has to do. In this situation our CSS preprocessor come into existence that converts Sass code into CSS, which is understandable by the browser. Now let's look some features of Sass. So first of all, Sass contains variables. You know that variable is a container which is used to store data. Just like this, we can store data in our Sass variables as well. You can store color information with the help of Sass. Now the next feature is operators. Operators are basically used to perform mathematical operations. Mathematical operations just like addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. So just like this, you can also perform the mathematical operation with the help of operators in Sass. Now the next property is partial import and partials and imports. This is one of the most important property of Sass, which is used to write CSS in multiple files, and you can import CSS property into a single file. Now the next property is mixing. This is another one of the most important feature of Sass, which is used for reusable codes. If you want to use reusable code, then you have to use mixins, because nowadays we are using dry principle, where you have to write less and less code in order to make your web page more fast. Now the next property is functions. We all know functions are used to perform tasks. Basically functions, if you have to perform a single task again and again, then we use functions. Just like this, we are using function in Sass in order to perform the same task again and again. Now the next property is extends. So extends are basically used for the inheritance. If you wanna extend, if you wanna inherit the properties of another class into your class, then you can use the extend property. So these are the features of Sass which we'll gonna study in the next videos. Now let's talk about the Sass syntax. So there are two syntax of Sass. You can write Sass in two syntax with .scss extension and .sass extension. So basically you can see the difference between SCSS and SASS. So in SCSS you can see there is CSS written, there is a CSS in SCSS, where you can see the syntax is basically same as like you are writing CSS. Just like you are writing CSS, it is like CSS. But in Sass there is no semicolon, there is no termination statement. That's why basically we prefer to write. Thanks for watching this video. Please like the video and subscribe the channel for such videos. That's all for today. See you tomorrow.